Hello everyone. I welcome you all in lecture 3 of module 1 analysis of trusses in course structural mechanics 2. So in earlier lecture we have discussed about the procedure we use for analysis of trusses using unit load method for finding horizontal or vertical deflection at a particular joint. We'll again go through the stepwise procedure that we are going to go through. Say a truss is subjected to a point load P at say for example joint C as shown in this figure. So at B there may be horizontal deflection taking place, and if we want to find what is the horizontal deflection due to the forces, so first of all we'll be finding the reactions at the supports due to the applied external forces, and we'll be going further to find what will be the internal member forces due to applied external forces, and then we will remove all the external applied forces and we will apply unit load at joint at which deflection is to be calculated in the direction of the deflection. So for example, if we are interested in finding what is horizontal deflection taking place at joint B, then we'll be removing the externally applied forces and we'll be applying unit load at that particular joint in the direction in which the deflection is to be calculated. And then whatsoever is as shown in this figure, and we'll be applying the internal member forces due to applied unit load at that particular position. And then we'll be having a table. It is preferable to use a tabular form for further analysis as shown over here. So we'll be going for this particular table with this as a member, as a column, then N, capital N. So capital N stands here for internal member forces due to applied external forces. Then small n stands for the internal member forces due to application of unit load at the joint in the direction where the deflection is to be calculated. Capital A stands for area of cross section of that particular member. Capital L stands for length of that particular member, and then we'll be going for a calculation of this N and L divided by A. And if Young's modulus is different for different members, again we need to have one more column for Young's modulus, or else if it is same, not required to be in this calculation. And again we'll be going for a summation of that, and we'll be finding delta. So that delta will be a summation L and L divided by A, and we'll be calculating it with this particular column. So with this, again we'll be going through second numerical regarding this particular method. We need to take proper care of units if this N, which is internal member forces due to externally applied forces, if it is in kilonewton, and if area of cross section, if it is in millimeter square, and if length is in meter, then while substituting everything over here in last calculations, either you convert everything in Newton and mm, so that your answer will be in mm. So you need to take care regarding what units are applied for all the calculations, and while having the final calculations, take care of units used for calculating the capital N, small n, that area of cross section and length of that particular members. So we'll go through one more numerical regarding this particular methodology. So this is the statement of the numerical. Analyze the pin jointed frame as shown in the figure 2 and find horizontal and vertical deflection at joint C using unit load method. For all members, area of cross section is 1903 millimeter square and Young's modulus is given as 210 gigapascal. So this is the diagram given. What we have is this truss. So you have 5 members, AB, BC, CD, AD and BD over here, and it is with the supports as shown in the diagram. So one is the hinge support and another is the roller support, and it is subjected to external forces 18 kilonewton over here vertically downward. Again at C it is 18 kilonewton. At joint B there is one more force applied, it is 12 kilonewton inclined at 40 degree. So with this we will go for the calculations solution. So initially you need to find what are the reactions due to the externally applied forces. So you will be having two reactions over here as it is hinge support. So we will be having vertical reaction as well as horizontal reaction, and as this D is roller support, we will be having vertical reaction, one reaction over here. So reactions at supports as figure 2A and figure 2B. If vertical reaction at D is to be calculated, you need to consider or apply summation of moments about A equal to 0. So with this, if we are going through this figure, so what we have over here is 18 kilonewton force at C, 18 kilonewton force at B, and at B we have one additional force which is inclined. So this is 12 kilonewton at 40 degree. It is converted into its two components, horizontal component and vertical component. So horizontal component becomes 12 into cos of 40. So this calculation will be 9.193 kilonewton, and vertical component 12 sin 40. So that comes as 7.713 kilonewton. So after these calculations, if we apply summation of moments of all the forces about A equal to 0 over here at support A, then it will give equation something like this. Now for this force 9.193, so this component 9.193 into 4, that moment will be about A. At this 18 kilonewton force and this vertical component of 12 kilonewton force, these two forces are moving through point A itself. So moment of that will be 0 about A. Moment of this 18 kilonewton force, that will be 18 into this perpendicular distance, this is 3 meter. So 18 into 3, so 9.193 into 4 is first term, plus 18 into 3 is second term, and minus VD over here, VD into 3, as it is anticlockwise about A. So VD into 3, so that must be equal to 0. So VD becomes 9.193 into 4 plus 18 into 3 divided by 3. So that calculation gives the reaction at support D as 30.26 kilonewton. Now we can apply summation of forces in y direction equal to 0. So VA plus VD must be equal to 18 kilonewton over here plus 18 kilonewton at this position, and 7.713 is vertical component of 12 kilonewton inclined force. So VA becomes 7.713 plus 18 the third, and minus VD. So that is 30.26, and it gives the vertical reaction at A as 13.45 kilonewton. Similarly, the another reaction over here at support A is horizontal. So for that, if we apply summation of forces in x direction equal to 0, so there is only one horizontal force, which is horizontal component of that 12 kilonewton force. So that is 9.193 kilonewton, and then for summation of x equal to 0, the reaction over here in x direction must be opposite to that. So that is minus 9.193, or it is in negative direction. So that is horizontal reaction at A, 9.193 kilonewton in the another direction. So with these reactions, after calculation of these reactions, what we need to go for is finding what are the member forces due to applied external forces. So we'll go for that. The internal member forces due to applied external forces and the reacting forces are as shown in figure 2C. So here we will be having some forces, internal forces. So to calculate this, what we can go for is, if I am considering joint A, and if I am considering equilibrium of joint A using method of joints, so I will be having member force FAD horizontally and member force FAB vertically. And as this reaction is in negative x direction, so member force over here will be in positive x direction. So again, if we consider this joint D, there must be opposite force. So here, this member force in member AD becomes 9.193 kilonewton tension, and this, if we consider summation Fy equal to 0 at joint A, then as VA is vertically upward, then internal member force FAB at joint A must be vertically downward. So this internal force, it becomes compression as 13.44 kilonewton. So similarly, if we go through joint C, and if we draw free body diagram of joint C, and if we apply summation Fx equal to 0 and summation Fy equal to 0, considering method of joints, what we'll be getting over here is there is no externally applied horizontal force at joint C. So the member force in member CB must be equal to 0, because there is no other force acting over here. And if there is only vertical force 18 kilonewton at joint C, then the force in the member CD must be 18 kilonewton in opposite direction. So this gives again compression 18 kilonewton at joint C if we consider the summation of forces in y direction equal to 0. So this member force FCD is 18 kilonewton compression, and member force FCB is 0, as there is no horizontal force as such at joint C. And now these four internal member forces are known. You can go for calculating what is member force in member BD. So if I am applying summation Fx equal to 0 at joint D, then we have 9.193 kilonewton force, which is tension in member force DA. And if we consider the horizontal component of FBD, then FBD cos of this theta must be equal to 9.193. So if we calculate that, it gives us 15.32 kilonewton, and that will be compression. Similarly, for here, it is written in tabular form. So we have 5 different members, member AB over here, and member BC, then member CD, and member DA, and member BD, incline. So for this, the internal member forces due to externally applied external forces will be this 13.44 in member AB. So that is the compression, hence it is written to be negative. In member BC it is 0. In member CD it is 18 kilonewton compression, so it is written as minus 18. Then AD, in member AD it is 9.193, it is tension, so it is positive. And BD, for this inclined member, it is 15.32 kilonewton, and it is compression, so it is negative. And lengths of all the members. So member AB, length of that is 4 meter. For BC and AD, it is 3 meter. For member CD, it is 4 meter. And for member BD, if it is inclined, you can calculate it with 4 meter and 3 meter, it gives us 5 meter. So with this we will go further, because we need to find what is horizontal deflection taking place at a particular point, and the horizontal deflection taking place at a particular point. So we will go for further calculations. So to find horizontal deflections at C, we will be applying unit load at C as shown in the figure, and we will be then calculating the member forces due to that unit load. So if I am applying unit load which is horizontal at joint C, at which we want to find horizontal deflection, then the reactions at supports it can be calculated as for summation M about A equal to 0. So if I am considering this joint, and if I am applying summation M at this support equal to 0, then for this force it will become 1 into 4, and if it is clockwise, then VD for this reaction it becomes VD into 3 in opposite direction. So VD becomes 1 into 4 divided by 3. So that gives calculation of VD as 1.33 kilonewton. And there is no other vertical force as such there is only this Vd as a reaction 1.33 kilonewton. For summation of forces in y direction, for that if it is to be 0, then vertical reaction at A, that Va, is 1.33 kilonewton in opposite direction. So these two are 1.33 kilonewton upward at support D and downward at support A. And for summation of forces in x direction equal to 0, then if this is unit force applied, then reaction over here, it must be opposite to that. So this gives 1 kilonewton in opposite direction. So if these reaction components are calculated due to unit load, then you can go for what are the internal member forces are developed due to unit load applied over here. So if we consider this joint again as done earlier, so if I go for this, then over here considering joint A and applying method of joints, the internal member force in member AD, it must be 1 which is opposite to this reaction component. And if I apply summation Fy equal to 0, I have this as downward 1.33 kilonewton. So internal member force in member AB must be upward at this joint, and that must be 1.33. So that gives us internal member force in member AD is 1 tensile, and over here in member AB it is 1.33. Again it is tensile, opposite to this reaction, it will be a tensile. So that will be FAB 1.33 kilonewton, 1.33 tensile. After that we can go for calculating what are the member forces which are connected at this joint C. Then if we consider over here free body diagram of joint C, we will be having member force in member CD and member force in member CB. Okay, so if there is only unit load applied at C, which is horizontal, then for summation Fx equal to 0, member force in member CB must be unit, and that should be opposite to this unit load applied. So that will be tension 1, and if we apply summation Fy equal to 0 at joint C, then there is no vertically applied force at joint C. So for summation Fy equal to 0, member force in member CD must be 0. So with this, now we are knowing what is member force in member AB, AD, and at C, CB and CD. Now remaining is member force in member DB. So if we again consider joint D, and if we consider the method of joints, now if we consider the horizontal component of this FBD, so that FBD cos 53.13. This angle, if we calculate that angle in between BDA, that is 53.13 with this as 4 meter and this as 3 meter, and the horizontal component of member force BD, that will be FBD cos 53.13, and this is 1 for FAD, and that must be equal to 0. So member force FBD will be 1 divided by cos of 53.13. So that calculation gives us the member force in member BD as 1.663, and it should be opposite to member force DA at joint D. So if DA is tensile, DB will be compressive. So that again can be written in terms of table. We'll do it afterwards. So if we go further, as in addition to that horizontal deflection, we are interested in finding what is vertical deflection at joint C. So now we'll apply unit load in that direction, and we'll apply again what are the internal member forces due to that. So if we are considering the unit load at joint C, so similarly to find the vertical deflection at C, applying unit load at C, the member forces are calculated as shown in this particular figure. Okay, so now if unit load is applied vertically at joint C, and if we apply summation of M at A equal to 0 to find what is reaction at D, so what equation will be? 1 into 3 minus Vd into 3 must be equal to 0. So Vd will become 1 into 3 divided by 3. So it gives Vd as 1 opposite to this force. And for summation Fy equal to 0, as this is 1 and this is 1, Vd is 1, there is no other force, so Va must be equal to 0, and there is no externally applied horizontal force. So horizontal reaction at A, again that must be equal to 0. Now these two externally applied reactions or externally developed reactions are 0. So internal member forces at force FAD, that is member AD, and internal member force in member AB, that must be 0. And again, if we go through joint C, then if we consider horizontal equilibrium, then there is no horizontal force as such. So internal member force in member CB must be 0, and vertical member force in this member CD, this must be equal to 1. And hence, as this force in member force DA, if it is 0, then horizontal component of member force BD, that must be equal to 0. So necessarily force in member BD must also be equal to 0. So there is only internal member force in member CD, and that is unit, and that is compression. Okay, and other member forces are 0. So we can again go through that table. So this column, member capital N, that is member forces due to applied external forces, length, that this column, that was already written. Calculated the member forces due to unit load applied horizontally at joint C, where horizontal deflection is to be calculated. So we can write it in this column as N1. So this is AB is 1.33 over here, which is tensile. Then BC over here, that is 1, which is again tensile. For member CD it was 0, so this is 0. For member AD it is 1, which is tensile. And for member BD, that is 1.66, which is compression, hence it is written as minus 1.66. Similarly, over here, if we want to calculate vertical deflection which is taking place due to the externally applied forces, then this unit load was applied, and due to this there is only the internal member force in member CD, and that is 1 as compression, so that is written over here in N2, that is minus 1, and in other members that internal member force is 0, so it is written over here. Now with this, what we can calculate is N1 and L. What we want finally is summation N, that is small n and capital N L divided by E. So we'll be going for that calculation over here in this column. That is 1 is for N1 and another column is for small n2. So this is for unit force applied horizontally over here, and this is for unit load applied over here, that is small n2. Okay, so this calculation gives us all these values for N1 and L. So this 13.44 multiplied with 1.33 and length is 4 meter. So that will give us 71.5 in kilonewton meter. Similarly, all these calculations are done. And again N2 and L, small n2 over here, this column, this particular term multiplied with this 13.44, that will become 0. So only over here at CD, it will give us minus 18 into minus 1 into 4. So that gives plus 72. So over here, now you can go for summation of that. So summation small n1 capital N into L. So that summation is 83.24, and summation N2 and L. So over here, these other terms are 0, so this is 72. So summation N2 and L. So this is 72. So with this, you can go for finding what are the deflection taking place in horizontal direction and vertical direction at that joint C. So delta HC is it stands for horizontal at C. Is summation small n1 and L divided by A. So this is already calculated, summation n1 and L, that is 83.24. it is in kilonewton meter. So that is converted into Newton mm by multiplication over here as 10 to the power 6 divided by, it was given that area of cross section for all members is 19.03 millimeter square, and this Young's modulus, it is 210 gigapascal, that is converted into megapascal by multiplying it by 10 to the power 3. So if we calculate this, the term delta HC, it becomes 0.21 millimeter. So this is the horizontal deflection taking place at joint C due to application of external forces. And similarly, now we are knowing this is 72 kilonewton meter. So summation N2 and L is 72 into 10 to the power 6. So that kilonewton meter is converted into Newton mm divided by area of cross section 19.03 for all members into 210 into 10 to the power 3. So that gives us 0.18 millimeter. So this term is for delta VC, vertical deflection at C due to applied external forces, and that is 0.18 millimeter. Before concluding, let us go through this diagram. Say this is cross section over here of this particular member, and this is subjected to force P like this. So what is happening internally? Try to understand that. So if I am cutting it over here, and if I am considering this member, this part of the member, then internally there will be stress which is in this particular direction, in opposite direction to this force, and that will be P divided by A. And if I am considering this part of the member, then internal force will be again same, P divided by A, that internal stress, and it will be throughout this cross section. Okay. So now if I am considering internal member forces over here, so for this member, for this part of the member, it is in this direction, and for this part of the member, it is in this direction. So this is internal, and this is called as tension. However, if it is opposite to this, so then it will be compression. So you need to remember that this is tension and this is compression. Okay. So with this discussion, we will conclude this lecture. I am thankful to you all. Thank you.